Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Rock the Yahweh, rock the Yahweh Shai, rock the Yahweh, rock the Yahweh Shai, rock the Yahweh, rock the Yahweh Shai. We give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who some ignorantly call God, and Yahweh Shai is his son, who some ignorantly call Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders, and salutations to you, Akim, that's out there constantly pushing out this word in sincerity and truth. Yeah, again, this is Matthew 10, verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. See, that's us, man. The people that's in this, us that's in this truth, you know, or coming into this truth, coming into this faith, man. We sheep, you know. We're not the tough guys. We're sheep among wolves, amongst those that's tough, you know. But what we have to do, we have to be like how the scripture says, man. It says, be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, man. So we have to be wise, man, when we out and about, you know. Can't be just walking around, you know, you dealing with the so-called white man and cussing him out at your job, or, you know, even when you just around about it in your life or amongst your family members, you know. It's a time and place for everything. You know, when you go out on the highways and byways, when you go out, you know, to teach, or even when you're doing your lessons, that's when it's a time to, you know, let off on this so-called white man in the other nations, you know. But it's a time and place for everything. So we gotta make sure, man, that we just do this where it says, you know, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, because we are those sheeps that's among wolves. You know, the Most High, he was depicted as a sheep, you know, as a lamb. You know, he was real meek, but he was very humble, you know. And that's what as sheep are, man. You gotta be humble, man. You can't be just a nigga in this truth, man. Just every chance, now that you know the truth, you want to just let it out. We know that, especially when you first coming in, when you're on the other side, man, it's a lot of things that be going through your head, because it's starting to register on fucking who this devil is, and that he is the devil. Let me go in Ephesians. Ephesians 6, verse 10. And it reads, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. So you got to be strong in the Most High, not in your own might. Be strong in the Lord. That's why we pray, fast, study, you know, because so we could stay in the spirit, you know. We stay in the spirit, man, because if not, it could just be a quick second, man. And then, you know, you snap, or you get somebody to snap, and that's it. It ain't no coming back. So, you know, you got to walk in the spirit. It said, finally, my brother, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on, you know how hard it was for the Most High, because he could have, when he was up on that cross, man, and going through all that BS, man, he could have had his angels come and take care of everything. All the people that was messing with him, man. He could have easily done that, man, but he endured that pain, man, because he knew what was to come. And that's what we have to do. We have to follow him. You know, we have to do as he did. We have to look past what's right in front of us right now, because we know that it's a bunch of BS. You know, you might come up against your family members, your woman, your children, your boss, people at work, all over the place, man. There's demons on these people, man, so they'll be fucking with you, you know. But you gotta constantly just remind yourself, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You know, just constantly keep that. Verse 11, put on the whole armor. Wait, Salakia, finally, my brother, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, Yahweh, that he may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So you got to put on that whole armor, man. And if you continue to read down, or even up to like verse 18, it'll explain it to you, man, where, you know, the armor that you have to put on, the salvation, you know, your breastplate of righteousness. I'll go through and read it, but Verse 11, put on the whole armor of God that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Verse 12, for we wrestle not. This is the part, man, that I want to bring out more than anything, though. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So it's not carnal, man. Because it says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers. This is all talking about that spiritual realm, the part that we don't see. Just like our faith, you know. Principalities, because faith is what? Faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you don't see it, you know, just like these principalities against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world. You know, Esau ruled this world, man. We don't have shit here, man. So you shouldn't be latching on to it like it's something. To hell with this world, man. Against spiritual wickedness in high places, you know. So it's the wickedness that's in high places in the spirit realm, but then also that's here on this earth. Esau, man, so-called white man, he ruling all this shit. Everybody's saying, well, it's the way, you blaming everything on the white man. Damn right, man. Who the fuck got all full control of this world, man? Who is in power and rulership of this world? Esau, man, the so-called white man. He got fucking full rule of this place, man. And if y'all don't see it, man, then you just blinded. And I'll just keep going just to show the different armor that the Most High he given to those, to the hopeful elect, the elect. Said, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand. Therefore having your loins, your girt about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness. So you got to be fully armored with this, man. It said, having your loins, your gut around your growing areas, girt about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith. You know, again, that faith, believing in what you can't see. Wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the power of God, you know. Praying always with all prayer and supplication. And that's what it takes, man, to be able to endure all this bullshit, to be that sheep among wolves. You got to pray constantly, man. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. So just staying prayed up in this will help you to stay humble and to stay a sheep that's amongst these wolves. Okay, 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 2:11 reads, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So that's it, man. You got to be aware of what's going on. We're not ignorant. We know, you know, but once you know, you got to do. You got to do. You can't just be, well, I know it, but you don't do it. You know, because that's like they say, just doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. That's insanity. You gotta do something different. And since we know, you know, we're not ignorant, so we could battle against it. All right, we'll go to Romans. I believe this is the last one. This is a little quick hit. Romans 8. I'm start at verse 6. It said, for to be carnally minded is death, you know, not being in the spirit. Meaning, you know, everything you want to get carnal with everything. Because meaning carnally, meaning within your flesh. You want to fight, you want to cuss somebody out, you know. You just want to get in the flesh instead of just to be spiritually. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So that's where you're going to get your life. You know, you're going to have peace of mind when you're walking in the spirit. From the outside looking in, from people that's looking from the outside to you, they look at you maybe as like you being soft or a coward or something, you know, because you don't wrestle against flesh and blood. So you're going to take some L's. That's all this is, man. You just taking L's daily. Your mind be playing tricks on you. You got to just take the L, man. Take the low, you know. Verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against God. You know, it's against it. It's like they say water and oil. They don't mix. It just, to be carnal and to try to be spiritual, you can't do both. You got to be one or the other. For it is not subject to the law of the power, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the power. You can't please the Most High by being in this flesh, man. It's not gonna, you ain't gonna please him. And that's what we're here for. We're here to please him. You know, we're here to serve him. Verse 9, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the spirit of the power dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. So if you're not in the spirit, you got to take a look at yourself, and you're not of him. You're not of the Most High, man. If you just always walking in your flesh, every time somebody say something to you, you got a response, and then responding with Yabba Shimeo Shabrakata. You know, like you throwing a name out there, or you claiming you part of a camp, you know, but your actions show like, damn, to me you just a nigga that know the name, you know. It's like, this ain't no gang, man. We not a gang. We not no type of like, we not none of them alphabet numbers, man. Them alphabets, not numbers, but we not none of them alphabet groups. You know, we not no gang. We not no nothing like that. This is all spiritual, man. All of it's spiritual. Everything, how we came together, how we all into the scriptures, our background. It's the Most High that's leading this. Verse 10, and if Hamashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin. So when you walking in the spirit, man, you dead. You know, it's not of you. You don't give a damn about you. And Hamashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. You know, because your spirit is alive, man. When you walking in the spirit, man, you alive. You know, you again, being a sheep among wolves, man, you got to just be in the spirit. Verse 11, but if the spirit of him that raised up Yahushua from the dead dwell in you, he talking about Yahweh, who people ignorantly call God, if he's the one from the dead, it says, but if the spirit of him that raised up Yahushua, and that the spirit of him is Yahweh, he raised up Yahushua from the dead, dwell in you. So if he dwell in you, he that raised up Hamashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by the spirit that dwell in you. So it's the same spirit, you know. We got the same spirit, Lord will, you know. Verse 12, therefore, brethren, be our debtors, not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors. We are in debt. We're in debt, man. Not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. So we don't live after the flesh. This is all spiritual, man. Again, it's all spiritual. Verse 13, for if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. So you gonna be living by this flesh, man. That's how you gonna die, man. It's plain and simple. You gonna die. And he's like, everybody's gonna die, man. This is not just your physical too, man. Your spirit is dead. That's the real you anyway. This flesh is just, you know, it's like our spacesuit while we on this earth. Because we going, Lord will, man, we get what people call raptured up, man. We're gonna get new bodies. But if ye through the spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. So you put this body aside, you know, you deny the flesh, you know, you doing what it takes to do what these scriptures say. You're doing your best to live by the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, you're doing your best. You're not just saying, well, that's the Old Testament, you know, like that's old news. Nah, you're doing your best to live by it. You're not shaving your beard. You know, you're not getting yourself lined up. You're not getting a bald head. You're not eating swine. You're not having sex with your brother's woman. You know, you're not being a nigga, man. Verse 14, for as many as are led by the spirit of the Most High, they are the sons of the power. So when you, again, for many as are led by the spirit. So when we led by the spirit, man, that's how you know you're sons of the power. Because you're being led by the spirit. Verse 15 I believe that's it. Verse 14, for as many as are led by the spirit of power, they are the sons of the power. So that's basically it. So Lord will, this was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, that's out there constantly pushing out this word in sincerity and truth. Again, Lord will, this was edifying. And shalom.